The camera crew followed Cody that day too. He rushed home to Robin. He needed to check in on, I don't know, the kids, her feelings about my labor.
For 2 years, you followed me down so many rabbit holes, chasing the secrets hidden away in dark places no one thinks to investigate. The closets that families fill to the brim, exploding with mysteries. But now, my life is undergoing major changes. A new country and a new closet to explore. Welcome to Rabbit from the Closet, where the secrets don't stay hidden for long. Welcome back to Rabbit from the Closet, where we open the door to stories that are layered, hidden, and sometimes full of contradictions.
This season on Sister Wives, yes, you and Cody could hang out.
No.
Did you say that?
Just like a closet can hold both the treasures we love and the things we'd rather tuck away, today's story does the same. I'm diving in to Christine Brown's new book, and in this video, we're starting right at the very beginning, the prologue.
You got to have an asset that you can sell as you move on. What we buy you out. I'm just being realistic.
From the very first pages, Christine introduces us to her world within the AUB.
Take care, you guys.
I really just like me tons better not living with them.
Not with a one-sided tale of pain or perfection, but with a remarkable sense of balance.
I loved the cul-de-sac. I felt like in the cul-de-sac, I was master over my own world. I was a mom. I was confident in being a mom. I want to do whatever I want in my home.
She's not glossing over the hard realities, the isolation, the rules, the weight of all of the expectations, but she also refuses to deny the joy she found, the family bond, the moments of laughter, the love she carried with her through it all. For me, that's the duality that makes Christine's voice so powerful. She's not rewriting her past to fit one narrative. She's showing us a full picture.
Maybe we should have stayed in Vegas, Janelle and me. Maybe we should have let our kids finish school there. Maybe I should have stayed with Janelle and cultivated that friendship. But maybe neither of us would have gotten the finality we needed. Still, the more I think about it now, the more frustrated I get that I didn't stay with Janelle and our girls. About a month after we moved in 2018, we learned that Dayton, Robin and Cody's son, had been accepted to the university in Flagstaff. I was furious. Was that why we moved? So Robin could be closer to her son while I was pulled farther away from my children? This may surprise you, but things didn't improve for the Cody Brown family from there.
And that duality, the tension between what hurt her and what she still cherishes, is the thread we'll be following as we go deeper into her book. So let's open the prologue together. Step inside and we'll see how Christine herself begins to retell her life story from inside the world of the AUB, as well as the perspective she carries now that she's free of it. The prologue begins with Christine describing the sights and sounds of a happy home. Her home now with David. She giggles when David and Truly playfully bicker. She sighs at the warm scent of cinnamon drifting from the oven. We know she loves to cook. And she beams when David sends her little texts throughout the day just to check in on her. It's clear she's in love with her current life. But Christine also looks back fondly in many ways. She remembers Thanksgivings with 75 guests, all the sister wives' children running around together, the playdates between siblings, and even moments of genuine love and support between the sister wives. These are the things that make her say, "I wouldn't change my past." Then comes the line that for me sums up so much of what this book is about. Christine says, "But was I in a cult? If I was, I'm glad of it. I come from a family and community filled with talent, nurturing, and love, and women who had the support and ability to make good decisions for themselves. That honesty is what is pulling me in. It's the ability to admit there were incredibly hard things, but still honor the love and the good things too." And here's where it's time for me to open up a little bit, because Christine's words mirror part of my own story, one that I've never shared on this channel. I started this channel a couple of years ago during COVID. I was living abroad, and honestly, I was incredibly lonely while pouring all of my energy into being there for my kids and my husband as we went through a really difficult time. At work, I was a nurse, barely keeping my head above water, serving underserved communities and children, witnessing so many hard things I couldn't fix. And I felt stretched thin, needed everywhere, but without a place for my own voice. And that season of life brought me back to reflecting on my own childhood, the good and the bad, the ways I could relate to families like the Duggars or the sister wives, and the ways I couldn't. What has always intrigued me is the duality, the in-between spaces. That's what I wanted to explore on my channel from the very beginning, when I looked at why Josh Duggar might have become who he is, to how Cody could be just as much of a victim of his circumstances as his wives. These are the gray spaces where the truth often hides. And to be honest, my perspective is deeply personal. To protect the anonymity of those I love, and because of the stalking I've experienced, I'll be changing names and details. But the heart of the story remains. There is a man in my family who I love dearly, and he was born into a Mennonite community, rural, strict, and God-fearing. As a boy, he followed every rule, believed every teaching, and his life was set to stay that way until one tragic moment changed everything for him. When he was 12 years old, playing with a rifle that was used for hunting, and that's very common in his community, he accidentally shot and killed his best friend, another 12-year-old boy. Blood still on the ground. His own father called the police, and he was taken away, held in jail. Not because the authorities thought he was a criminal, but because his family was refusing to take him back. The law eventually forced them to. After all, he was just 12, and this was honestly an accident. But to his community, he was already a murderer. The shunning began, and it didn't stop. When he turned 18, without so much as a goodbye, he was pushed out and told he might as well join the army, because what else was he going to do with his life? There was no one left to support him, and he was coming from a lot of nothing. Now, I watched this boy grow into a man his 12-year-old self wouldn't recognize, consumed by anger and shame, numbing himself with alcohol and drugs, living from crisis to crisis. But deep down, I could see, and I can see, that he was good. I remember him crying to me once, saying he wished he could treat me and everyone in his life better, and all I could think was, will he ever learn to treat himself better? Meanwhile, the very people who abandoned and abused him were, for me, stabilizing forces. They didn't use drugs. They created a strong family structure. They sang joyfully to God, and I loved every minute of being around them. They made me feel safe. They made me believe there were really good people in the world. His truth and my truth existed at the same time. Duality. Was he in a cult? Was I in a cult? Maybe. But like Christine, I can say I'm grateful. Specifically, I'm grateful to have known him, grateful to have known them, grateful for the good and the bad. Because without that life, I never would have sat with a man like him, seen him, learned from him, and loved him exactly how he was. That's life. It's messy, contradictory, and often impossible to fit into a single story. And all that comes just from the beginning of Christine's prologue. And there's a little more to Christine's prologue. Some of it about Cody, a lot of it about the hard times. Christine lets us know that one of the things she's most thankful for when it comes to her experience with TLC is all the footage she has of her kids growing up. She writes in the prologue, I'm glad that love, down to all the sibling silliness, made it on film. I think for most of us, that would be one of the positives, if not the only positive, of having our entire lives captured on TV, like Christine's was. She does admit that watching herself and her sister wives on TV, it changed them. It changed how they reacted to each other, how they acted in front of the camera. Christine actually describes like cleaning up her home, getting everything ready for filming. So we're not seeing things the way they actually are when you just show up at their house. For the good and the bad of it, the prologue admits that Christine would change how she reacted to her kids based upon perhaps seeing herself act a way on camera that she didn't like. She writes, but the camera also shines a light. I saw the funny expression I make when I'm shocked, and I decided that my clothes were frumpy. And I realized I've spent years saying it's fine on repeat. It's fine because I'm angry and I don't have the words for it. It's fine because it's not worth the effort to explain. It's fine, though I might be doing my best to hold the family together while feeling overwhelmed. It's fine because that's what I've been trained to be. Fine, small, not a bother. I'm certain I've come from a long line of women who have said, it's fine, and the show forced me to see that it wasn't. Wow, that's really powerful for me, and I think the show did the same thing for all of us as viewers. I really walked into this show being really open, ready to see what polygamy was like, what the lifestyle was like, because I was thinking to myself, hey, I could use some sister wives over here. I'm tired of doing everything. And we watched the good and the bad, and we watched the disintegration of several of the relationships. It was hard to see. I'm sure it was even harder to be a part of it. We've already uncovered so much depth to Christine's story and how it brings out the depth in our own stories. Very shortly, I'll be releasing a video on the first couple of chapters, and I plan to have a new video out every day this week until we finish this book together. At the end, I'll put all of these videos into a playlist so you can easily follow the journey from start to finish. In the meantime, I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings on what we've talked about today. So please leave a comment. Let me know what you think drew you to the Sister Wives story. And let's open the closet door on this together.